So, like I say, I'm doing a book. I'm uploading stuff for a book, and it's going to be kind of out of order at times, but I'll eventually get it all lined up and relabeled and all. Because I'll download these audios and videos and organize them and retitle them. All this stuff will be retitled and so forth. But what I want to talk about today is words. While I'm thinking about it, I was sitting at the restaurant, and this these people next to me talking about how words are important. And I wanted to say something, but I didn't. I was just listening, and I realized most people are still in the elementary stage. This reality is based on words. Words reveal everything. Words are spirit, right? The words that I speak are spirit and life, Jesus said. Words are spirit. Everything is a word. The way I was able to decode this reality and see what's really going on is because the words, everything is a word. Body language is a word. Shapes, colors, symbols, signs, commas, dashes, even animals. Everything is a word. Why else? So when you talk about a shark or a wolf or a snake, in the context of good and versus evil, you see, well, they're a wolf or they're a shark or they're a snake. How can a snake or a wolf uh, signify meaning of a person's character? Because it represents a word. Everything is a word. And so as you look out in front of you, you're being hit with the word. It's manifesting as an object, as a solid object. But we know nothing's really solid. But it manifests down here as a solid, right? As a solid object. But the reality is, it's a spirit. The spirit realm is holding this all together. And like I say, the reality is you're being hit with the word. Not only is the Bible the words you speak are words, the words you write on the paper are words, but you're actually you're a character in a word. This whole thing is a word. It's a writ. It's a story. His story, history. It's holy writ. So whether it's shapes, symbols, characters, animals, birds, uh, fish, everything signifies. I mean, if you look at the average shape of a fish, it looks like the symbol of the 153, the Vesica Piscis. So even fish, the shape of a fish is a word. And because everything is a word, Jesus is the word. You're being hit in your eye gate and your ear gate as you read the word, as you're going about your day. You're being changed back to the word. And so as you're being hit by the word, you're being changed back to the word. So the word is source code. So here's a phenomena that a lot of people notice when they start to meditate and think about stuff. They think, and after they get saved and they start to grow, let's say they listen to some sermons. So they'll listen to some preachers, right? They'll listen to some preachers, and one person might receive a word or a word of knowledge, if you want to call it that. It'll affect them where they need to hear it. And then somebody sitting right beside them will hear the same sermon, but they'll be affected where they need it. And the reason is the same sermon or the same message or the same situation, but two people receive it in different ways. It hits them where they need it at different states and different levels. Now, how is that possible? I'm not explaining it too well, but maybe you can pick up on what I'm saying. God is source. Jesus is source. The Word is source. Each person is being turned back to source. And so wherever you are on your growth process, that sermon or whatever you're listening to or whatever you're doing is going to hit you at different stages. You can listen to that same sermon a year later and it will affect you in a different way. Or you can listen to the same sermon 5 years later and you've grown, hopefully you've grown, and it'll affect you at a different way. So not only does it affect different people, but it affects you depending on your stage and when you listen to something. So there's different levels of being changed back to your eternal state at source code. Because when you see Jesus, you'll be like him. When you see him, you'll be like him. You'll be changed forever into the image of Jesus, body, soul, spirit. Right now, you have the earnest of the Spirit. Right now, you're in a flesh body, which is going to the grave, is dying. And your will, your emotions, your intellect, that's all growing and changing. Your will should pretty much be settled after you get saved, but everything's a process down here. You're actually going through a Turing machine or turning machine, cutting out things that need to be cut out and develop things that need to be developed, because God is in control of the sanctification process. He actually has a plan for you, and he knows what gift to give you because you'll like it. In other words, a lot of people say, well, what's my calling in life? What's my calling? Do you like doing something? Yeah, well, that's your calling. Do what you enjoy. God is not going to give you a gift that you don't like. I mean, come on. If God calls you to do something, it's going to be a gift that you enjoy. Because the Creator is not going to ask you to do something that makes you miserable. He's going to ask you to do something that's really going to benefit you and make you happy. Some preachers, some teachers, some musicians, some writers, some speakers, some helpers, some pianists, some guitarists, different, whether it's even in the field of working, electricity, plumbing, carpentry, design, nursing, doctors. Everybody has a gift. And it's all working together like an orchestra. It's an opera. It's actually like an opera and an orchestra. And everything's working together. It's the way it's supposed to be. And you can actually see Putin is going more crazy because you can actually see the progression. He's stepping into it 100%. Now he's talking about the traitors in the country. He's going to take care of them inside his country, you know. So he's getting more paranoid. He doesn't want to take rebuke at all. That's what happens to a dictator. So we called it. I did a video on it when he first started. We called it. He's getting worse and worse, and now he's wanting to persecute his own people. They're not willing to listen to another opinions. Like when we had some riots in the USA, they didn't. They said, okay, everybody needs to be peaceful, but you need to voice your opinion. But see, Putin, he ain't putting up with that. He's calling them traitors. Long story short, the progression of the path, whether you're moving towards the image of Christ or you're moving towards the image of the devil, it's look, Putin, he's his worst enemy. He's his own worst enemy. He's going senile. He's going paranoid. He's losing his mind. You're either on the path to be like Jesus or the path to be like the devil. And if you're on the path to be like the devil, you are your own worst enemy. You're going to destroy yourself. And if he's attacking Ukraine and now his people saying don't, and now he's going to start arresting his own people, and if they're traitors, he might cut their head off. But once he starts doing that, there's going to be an overthrow. He'll be taken out. The more time goes on, the crazier he's going to get. That's just a fact. He's losing his mind. Within 2 years or less, it'll be over. And it might be sooner than that. It might be within the next week or 30 days. He's coming to his end. His opera is about finished. You can see it and look at the history. Look at the other ones. Look what happened before, and you can see what's happening now. There's nothing new. You can tell the future.